taxes.
Well, if you don't like to be in a place of racism and you're a victim here, why stay
would
here?
I leave a place that my forefathers built?
Because you're a victim here, and there's racism everywhere.
So should I leave or should I get justice for my people?
Right. Okay.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're one.
Slaves.
How do you get slaves?
The black people sell them to you in Africa.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So, Africans sold the Jews that migrated to the west coast of Africa when we fled from our homeland in the 70 AD destruction. You got to learn your history, Haitian brother.
What did I get that was wrong?
You got that was wrong because Africans are not black people.
Right,
and
right.
they themselves would tell you.
So Africans aren't black people.
Don't teach their children about
Africans aren't black people?
You repeated exactly what I said.
Africans aren't black people.
Africans are not the children of the slaves or the Negroes or the Jews.
What are Africans?
They are a completely different set of their own ethnic groups of people. All dark-skinned people aren't the same.
Right. Yeah.
You understand? The planet is covered in dark-skinned people outside of Europe. And you can once I'm done, because we teach. Hold your peace, brother. The planet is covered in dark-skinned people.
Sure.
All of those dark-skinned people do not ascribe to being Africans. They are not ethnically the same in East India. They're not the same in the Polynesian Islands.
Would you accept
They're
an
not
African
the same in Africa. And the actual ethnic Asians, not the ones that the British told everybody to put on TV.
So you wouldn't accept an African in your group?
They're not one of them.
Okay.
This is about family.
Sure.
And you have what it seems like a confusion about who your family is.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Because you started Asian, then you were Haitian, now you're half white. Now you're going to jump to something.
You just said I'm not Asian.
You said you're Haitian.
You're blaming me for the confusion.
I'm blaming you for the words that you said out of your mouth.
You realize
because we got witnesses and it's recorded.
You know,
now, here's what you should
have said. To most
said.
people, when they hear you talk about this person's not black and this person's not Asian, and then we're the children of Israel, and these are God's chosen people.
Most people see Native Americans.
Most people see identity politics where people are trying to focus
very important
on something that makes them special, and they try to find themselves in a victim situation, and they don't really want to elevate. They don't really want to find a solution.
You know, how do you elevate?
They want to be in a victim mindset forever.
Is the slave a victim?
Yes.
Is the children of slaves victims?
Sure, yeah.
So, are we not the children of slaves? Haitian men?
At a certain point, move on.
Move on, forget about it.
At a certain point, the victim mindset.
Still remember 9/11?
Of course.
They do?
Time to move on.
It's time to move on?
Time to move on.
9/11 don't matter anymore.
They lied a lot about it.
Did they remember the Alamo?
Did
they remember Vietnam?
The point is,
remember Korea?
You talk about
it sounds like you haven't actually been through some actual danger.
That's besides the point.
It's very much the point. You speak with a lot of privilege, pretending to not be a Haitian man.
Privilege, you're a victim. I get it. Okay.
No, my people are victims. You don't love your people. We love our people.
Great.
But am I wrong for loving my people?
You believe in mental slavery.
I believe in physical,
you believe in mental slavery,
economic, psychological
slavery.
All of those things.
Do you realize victimizing yourself is a form of mental slavery? If you want to get rid of the shackles, then stop thinking that everybody's out to get you. You're going to start seeing it in places that didn't exist before.
It would seem like that's a wonderful thing to say, that everybody is not out to get you and you should move on.
Yes.
However, when Sonia Massey dialed 911, she didn't realize.
You could bring up in one example of everything. You could say Derek Chauvin. You could bring up Jordan Neely.
It's funny
you
to you
any example
because you don't identify with what's happening. We're looking at your face. We're looking at your mannerism. We listen to how you speak. You seem to have dismissed yourself. It's not a mindset when someone executes you in your kitchen. That's not your mindset.
Who's executing you right now? Where's the racism right now?
The racism?
Right here, yeah, where is it?
It's institutionalized. How much time do you got?
Where is it?
What language are we speaking?
Speaking the English.
Just answer the question.
So why don't you go back to Haiti? If you don't want to speak the white man's tongue, why don't you go to Haiti?
I speak several languages.
So why are you in America?
Because my people were victims and carried into slavery. Haitian man.
So
why are you in America?
So your existence in America is because your ancestors were victims?
If my ancestors were not kidnapped and brought to the land of our captivity,
so go back.
We would be in our homeland.
So go back then.
See, here in America, you seem to be very privileged and confused about how the world really works.
Like 5 times, yeah.
I did, because you don't understand.
You have Haiti's not that expensive.
You can't pack up and leave America as an American citizen.
Yes, you can.
You ever heard of a passport?
You heard of a passport?
You can
renounce your passport. You have to pay the IRS. IRS anymore.
They come and
Renounce it. Go to Haiti.
They come and retrieve you for leaving the country.
Okay, then pay taxes. You'll still make more money in the States.
You told me I should just up and roll out. Now I got to pay taxes.
Well, if you don't like to be in a place of racism and you're a victim here, why
would I leave a place that my forefathers built?
Because you're a victim here, and there's racism everywhere.
So should I leave or should I get justice for my people?
Right. Okay, so your whole existence is justice. When is it time to live for yourself and for your people?
Getting justice is living for my people.
How are you going to get justice?
I'm going to get justice by first fixing my people. The first step.
How are you going to fix your people?
That's an excellent question. The first step to fixing my people is giving our people a different identity from the people who enslaved us.
And what's that identity? Jews?
That identity that is according to the not becoming. We are born with an identity.
So now you're
chosen confused people. About your identity.
So
I see that.
The way to fix your people is to become God's chosen people.
Give us our identity. Being God's chosen people gives you a heritage.
You know the funny thing?
Gives you a language.
Blame the Jews for the Atlantic.
I blame a lot more people than just the Jews. Okay. Everybody had a hand.
You blame them, but then you want to become them. So why are you embodying the same mindset?
If you break in my house and steal my family records and change your name to my family name, and then you get the benefits of my house, my land, my identity, my records, my culture, and you rise to the top of power internationally. And then the children of the people that you stole from are left to figure it out. And then you say, that's not racism. We should leave it in the past. It's 2025.
That's a better, if racism does exist everywhere, holding on to that mental slavery is not going to achieve anything.
I was in mental slavery if I returned to the records of my forefathers. Everybody else in America says I'm an Asian American because that's where their forefathers established themselves. The Africans say I'm an African American. Then they can go to Africa and tell you what part of Africa their forefathers come from.
Well, if you're,
their language, their culture,
Jewish,
their tongue. No, I'm the Jew.
Why don't you go to Israel?
Jew by blood.
So why don't you go to Israel?
Real biblical ethnic Jew.
Isn't Israel your
because
homeland?
Another criminal is living in my home.
So is that your ultimate goal, to take Israel for black people?
My ultimate goal is to take the world.
That's right.
Because that's
you
what
want to
our
conquer the world.
Promised us.
Okay. You want to take over the world.
And then I'm going to start by giving my people.
You'll get angry at people like Hitler and the Nazi ideology, and they conquer the world.
Those white men. We're not white men.
So you're embodying the same Nazi ideology that you're.
That's not only is that a lie, but to compare that is racist.
That's right.
And I'm going to tell you why.
Here we go again. Everything's racist to you.
How is that Haitian man? You sure do talk a lot like a white man.
How is that racist? If you want to conquer the world and make it ethnocentric to your people, that's being a black Nazi.
How is that a Nazi? Nazis committed hate crimes. Nazis tortured people.
Okay, so if you're going to conquer the world as a black person, what are you going to do to every other race?
That's an excellent question. I'm going to make sure that their own people don't rape and exploit them.
Okay,
I'm going to make sure that their own people don't starve them.
How are you going to do that?
The same way it says in the Bible. When Christ returns, he's going to be the King of kings and Lord of lords. And everyone will be under his authority.
So that's not going to happen until Jesus returns?
Of my people.
So it's not going to happen until the Messiah comes?
It's going to happen when he returns, and we're preparing for it right now. You know how we prepare? We turn back to our culture and our heritage and our records. And unlike the Nazis and everyone else that you said, what that does for our people is it makes us not only be criminals anywhere, but it teaches us to love each other.
Where in the Bible does it talk about records?
Let me finish. Hold your peace. It teaches us to love each other. It teaches us to not commit crimes. It teaches us to make sure that our families are together. It teaches young brothers to not shoot each other, to not steal cars. Yeah. You do, yes, and that's what we're doing. And that is done by giving us our identity so that we stop idolizing the other nations of people. That's why the first step is to separate.
All that, but when you start combating that by idolizing yourselves, then you're just repeating the cycle.
I'm not idolizing myself. We just obeying what God says.
You believe you're the superior race.
When you turn
That's the same problem.
No, it's not the same problem, because he wasn't the superior race. Having to murder everybody and steal from them to make you superior is not superior. That makes you an animal.
That's right.
See, what you're confused about is what you have been experiencing. What the world is seeing is madmen and murderers staking claim to something that they are really not.
That's right.
Because even after centuries of slavery, everybody is benefiting from the inventions that the slaves made, who had their language stripped, their identity stripped. You're saying, here we go, because you don't care.
You keep saying identity stripped. It says nothing in the Bible about
You're holding. It says nothing
about taking your culture back and all this stuff.
It doesn't say that in the Bible.
But then
are you sure?
What is it?
Are you sure it doesn't say that in the Bible?
I'm not sure.
Well, how can you make you make a lot of statements?
Because you keep talking about culture and records.
Because I'm for the culture and the records of my people. It may not matter to you because you can pretend to be an Asian, but my people, it matters to us. It may not matter to you. but it matters to my people who are Mexicans, who are Dominican, who are Haitian, who are Puerto Rican, who are black, who are Afro-American.
So I'm one of you, apparently.
Well, little brother, listen, because I'm a teacher.
Okay.
Right. It matters.
How old are you, by the way?
It does matter. I'm 10,000. That's how old I am.
That's right. 10,000 years old.
Captain of 10,000. That's the most important age you need to know.
Great. That's right. What separates black people from not committing the same crimes that the former superior races that made you the victim?
Once our people
how are you not going to do that?
Our people return to our identity, and that's what we teach our people to do.
Return your identity how? It's like you're 10,000 years old?
By obeying.
By wearing the sparks on your head and the lion and cowboy shoes?
Commandments. You recognize that, don't you? By representing the culture that the God who created everything gave to his chosen people. That's how you fix everything. The problem is the people
that are
following
God's commandments.
The problem is the people that are in charge are the wrong people.
So you should be in charge.
Absolutely.
Okay. Who are your favorite black leaders?
Absolutely. Who are my favorite black leaders? Christ. He's the most important black leader of all time.
Where was Jesus from?
Jesus was from Nazareth.
Okay. And he was black
in the Middle East.
Jesus
Not only was he black, but all the disciples, the apostles, and prophets in the Bible were black.
They're all black.
The problem is that during the Renaissance period, the oppressor painted his own pictures. Sure. Would you like me to read the scripture?
Not really.
The problem is most of the world doesn't know the Bible. Jesus Christ was a black man born in the ghetto of Nazareth.
The ghetto.
That's John 1:45. You can read it for yourself.
Okay. He was gang-banging?
Absolutely. He was in the ghetto.
He was crip walking.
It was a terrible place.
Yes.
It was a terrible community.
Was Jesus God?
Jesus was not God. He said it himself several times. Okay. He said, the Father is greater than I. So I go to the Father to create a place for you. Was he the Son of God? He was the Son of God. That's correct.
So God's black.
God is absolutely black. It's in the Bible. If you'd like to read it. Hold on, wait a minute. Is it a problem, God being black?
God doesn't have a skin color.
Is it a problem, God being black?
It's not a problem. It's just not what's true.
You seemed very disappointed when I said God was black. You turned around. Here we go again.
No, because
is there a problem? What's wrong with God being black? Do you love black people?
Wait, then how are black?
Okay, of course I love black people.
Well, why can't God be black? You seemed so disappointed a second ago.
Why would God, the Almighty Creator, have a skin color?
How did you get a skin color?
God created us.
So God creates skin color, but people, he don't have one.
Yeah, God created the trees too. He's not a tree. That's a stupid argument.
It's a stupid argument?
Yes, just because he created skin doesn't mean he has it. You're saying to not worship and idolize whiteness and not worship everything. You're doing the same thing.
I didn't say whiteness.
You're embodying the same racist ideology.
The Africans, the East Indians, all the other nations of people. My people are in everyone's culture because everyone got together and got rich off of exploiting us to make sure we didn't have ours. That's why we teach our people our heritage. And that does not make us burn crosses on lawns. That doesn't make us lynch
people.
Do you
all believe God's black?
That doesn't make us fight. That doesn't make us harm anyone.
Do you believe God's black?
It fixes our people. Stay focused. You're talking to me. Stay focused.
Brother, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Is that what you believe, really?
What's your question?
Okay.
According to the Bible, see, we believe what's in the Bible. We believe what's in the Bible. Is there a problem believing what's in the Bible? What's your question?
Can we have like a chill conversation? Because I'm not amped up.
I'm pretty chill.
Okay.
I'm chill.
We can do some deep breathing.
I'm chill.
Okay.
I'm all right.
So do you think in America right now that black people are discriminated against?
The foundation of America is discriminated against black people.
Because if I tried to go to the NBA...
And just real quick, and when we say black people... No, we're not done. I'm listening to you. When we say black people, we are talking... I just want to clarify. We are talking about so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Please, go ahead.
So my question is...
You're all right.
Here's my question. Are black people discriminated against in America?
Absolutely.
So then, like, what about
Native Americans
if I tried to go to the NBA? I'd be discriminated against.
To the NBA?
To the NBA or to be a rapper.
Like,
is LeBron James discriminated against? Or
are you a better rapper than the rest of the rappers? Are you a better ball player? Are you okay? Let's use your example.
Or is that racism?
No, that's not racism because white Jewish men control the entire rap industry. Now we don't want to talk about it. You understand? That's not what racism is. You understand? The banks, the entertainment industry, the diamond district, the insurance company are all controlled by our oppressors. So if there's a problem that you have with how your people are treating you, you can't blame black people who are at the bottom. If 90% of the NBA is filled with black people and 100% of the owners are white people, how can you blame black people who are by the thousands applying for a job that only about 50 people can get every year? How can you then blame the people who are showing up to get a job? And that is the idea of the racist and prejudiced mentality, thinking that everything is nice and equal and fair. And that lie is what America teaches. That's not true. You have to have power in order to be racist. Black people can't put anyone out of the NBA. Black people can't make people not be rappers. The record labels are controlled by CEOs and multi-billionaires. Leor Cohen, not our people. You understand? But of course, when you bring out the facts, you bring out details and have evidence, nobody wants to hear the evidence. Really? They don't actually love black people. They don't love blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. They just have nice words. You understand? So that's it. All right.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're